Hanging folks. We're doing another cooking video. Why are we doing another cooking video? No one asked for that. Shut up, I wanted to do it. Anyway. I've got a bit of a chocolate craving, so we're making one of my favorite desserts of all time. We're making French silk pie. So let's get started, shall we? The very first step is we need to put this pie crust in the oven for a little while. The actual pie itself won't get baked, but this dough is raw, so it needs to be baked for a little bit. This particular one, about 10 minutes. So, yeah, you could use whatever kind of crust you want for this. Graham cracker or Oreo standard pie crust. I'm just using this pre-made gluten-free pie crust. So, the first real step. A small saucepan, combine sugar and eggs until well blended. Cook over low heat, stirring constantly until it coats the back of a metal spoon. I should have checked these eggs. A couple of them are cracked. But here's two good ones. There's two not so good ones. And a third. And a fourth. Okay, excellent. Well, we have two good ones here. 2 eggs. Into the saucepan they go. Which, by the way, there is a trash can there. I'm not just throwing this on the ground. I know it looks like it, but there is actually a trash can just in the center of my kitchen right now. So, yeah. Anyway, 2 large eggs and 2/3 cup of sugar. Granulated variety. Okay, low medium heat. Oh, low heat. And it's a bit of a whiskey start to the video, but you know, it's what needs to be done. What exactly that means, coats the back of a metal spoon, I'm not really sure, because I feel like it would do that right now. But we trust the process. I'm actually going to bring you over here for a bit. Stir this constantly until it will coat the back of a metal spoon. Which reminds me, I only have one spoon. Why do I only have one of so many cooking utensils? Well, because, you know, when you live alone, you don't tend to need more than one spoon. Anyway, will this coat the back of it? Maybe? I don't know, it's barely been on there, so. It also says until it reaches 160 degrees. Doesn't say Fahrenheit or Celsius. I'm going to assume Fahrenheit. Because I'm an American, and we use Fahrenheit here. Anyway, we're also going to save a little time here. This right here is a pot full of water. We're going to start boiling it. Why are we going to start boiling it? Because we're using it for a double boiler. Okay? The double boiler is going to be needed to melt some chocolate, which we need 2 ounces of. This whole bar is 4 ounces, so just half a bar. Breaking it up into the metal bowl. And then the metal bowl goes in the water. Probably could have used less water, but oh well. What's done is done. Oh, our thing here is changing. Take a look at that. That's what it looks like. That's what eggs and sugar warms looks like. Let's see, will that coat the back of a metal spoon? I think so. Tell me, does that look coated to you? We'll just go a little longer. So why are we using a double boiler instead of, just putting it in a pan on the stove? Well, because the double boiler provides a much gentler heat. And if I just put that in a pot on the stove will get a lot hotter than the boiling water will. So it'll actually burn the chocolate. And you don't want that. You don't want burned chocolate. You heard it here first, folks. That doesn't feel like 160 degrees. Just gonna stir this around a little bit. More of the solid bits in contact with the base of it. This is feeling a lot more liquid now. Well, now that's coated. There we go. Okay, so we can remove this from the heat now. We're gonna let that cool. Focus on getting our chocolate melted here. Now note, by the way, this is unsweetened baker's chocolate. This isn't just like a Hershey bar or something. Because, we're adding a fair bit of sugar to it. We don't need the chocolate to be sweet too. And baker's chocolate mixes into things well. Chocolate is melting pretty well. So while that finishes melting, I'm actually going to transfer you back to where we had you originally. Go. Chocolate is very nearly melted. Chocolate is fully melted now, so let's pull it off the stove. Shut off our double boiler. Some boiling water dripped on my foot. That's fun. I'm going to put the chocolate into the sugar egg mixture. Now we have chocolatey sugary eggs. Just going to use this rubber spatula here and make sure we get as much of this stuff as we can. Like I said, making this out of a craving for chocolate. So we want as much of our chocolate to make it into there as possible. I mean, you want this anyway, but like, in particular, we've got a good bit. Mix that in. Mix that in the chocolate egg or the sugar egg mixture. Now chocolate sugar egg. And one more thing to add into this. A teaspoon vanilla extract. Let's get out our teaspoon. Just gonna put one teaspoon. Why do we put vanilla extract in everything in baking? I don't really know. It tastes good and it smells good. Well, it doesn't taste good by itself. There's our pie crust. Let's get that out of there. Gotta love the blast of heat you get every time you open an oven. What we've got? Chocolate, eggs, vanilla extract, and sugar in there. Now, we're gonna do some other stuff. We got one more thing to do. We're gonna take this bowl. There's still chocolate in there. That doesn't matter. We want chocolate in there. We're gonna transfer this mixture into here. Oh wait, no, not yet. Not yet. Sorry, we're not gonna do that yet. I tricked you. That is bitter. It's very bitter. But we are going to use this bowl, and we don't really care if there's still some chocolate in it, because we want the chocolate. We're going to take the mixer. We're going to cream some butter. Unfortunately, the butter is still hard, so I've once again forgotten to set it out. So, but you should know by now how to do this. Use the modern miracle that is the microwave. Let's see, how much butter? A third of a cup. Third of a cup here. Take this microwave safe bowl. Butter into bowl. Bowl into microwave for about 10 seconds. That is not set to 10 seconds, so I'm just going to keep an eye on it. There we go, soft enough. This, another miracle of modern technology, the electric mixer. And we're just gonna beat the crap out of it. Our butter has been sufficiently creamed and is now slightly brown because of the chocolate in the bowl. Now, we put the other stuff in with it. We're going to beat this for about 5 minutes until it becomes light and fluffy. Your good friend, the rubber spatula, back. Once again, get as much as humanly possible out of the thing. Very good. All right, now we beat this. Just beat it. Okay, now having beaten this for about 5 minutes, we're going to rapidly cool this pot because it is actually still very hot, and use it as a second mixing bowl. Okay, now that the pot is no longer hot and will no longer heat my cream that I put in it, we are going to make some whipped cream. So, let's grab a handy dandy liquid measuring cup and a confectioner's sugar and this bottle of heavy cream. That's what we'll need. Now you can use a lot of different sweeteners for whipped cream. I kind of think powdered sugar is the best. It gives it a nice texture, a little more structure, helps it hold together a little longer. You can use granulated sugar, but it'll deplete pretty quick if not consumed. Let's see, how much do they want? 2/3 cup heavy whipping cream. Whipping cream into the pot. Okay, now we're just gonna, well, I'm gonna lick this off and then I'm gonna clean it, okay? It's kind of a big pot for this. Yeah, this really isn't very much cream. I'm gonna get a smaller container with this. Can I just? I'm going to try this with a different bowl that isn't full of butter. Okay, let's put the cream in this bowl now. This might be messy. It's certain. This might be a bad idea. This might be messy. We're gonna give it a go because yeah, this pot is way too big for this small amount here. So we don't have much. Also, if you really wanted to, if you really didn't feel like doing this, you could skip this step entirely and substitute in pre-made whipped cream. It's working! kind of messy. This small. I need another mixing bowl. I really need another mixing bowl. 2 teaspoons confectioner's sugar as well. I'll whip it a little bit. Add in sugar. It's actually surprisingly not flying everywhere. It is, however, expanding. So when you're whipping cream, something to keep in mind, you want to go until it forms peaks, but you don't want to overmix it or you'll just make butter. Keep that in mind. Alright, that looks pretty good. Yes. There's the right consistency. I know you really can't see it at all. There you go. Whipped cream. Anyway, next step is take this and fold it into here. Now we're going to do this very carefully because we don't want to deflate the whipped cream. Right? We want to keep it nice and whipped. Because the French silk pie is a very delicate, airy texture. Hence the name, silk. And that comes from the whipped cream. That comes from the whole thing being all whipped up, you know. So, I'll gently fold this in. Gently fold it all together. So, careful movements. Don't go too quick or too hard. Just be patient. Keep doing it until it's all mixed together like this. And then we're just going to put it into our pie crust. Yeah, again, you can use whatever pie crust you want. Some people use graham cracker, some people use pie crust like this. Some people make their own, some people use crushed up Oreos. It's really a free-for-all on this one. And whatever kind of crust you want to use, whatever one you want to use. All of it in here. Pull it out. Get nice and smooth. Actually, we can grab out of here with this. Only going in. Right, it's got smoothed out. Now, speaking of patience, we let this chill for several hours. So I'm gonna put this in the fridge and I'll meet you back here in several hours. And we're back several hours later. Anyway, made some whipped cream off camera because that's the last thing we need for this. So let's get it out of the fridge. There's our pie. Much more solid now. Where is that thing? Here it is. There's the thing. Anyway, take this, take the whipped cream, just whipped cream over the top of it. Whipped cream is the same stuff we were working with earlier, same stuff we folded into it. As thick or as thin a layer as you like. Now, if you want to get real fancy, you could do some chocolate curls over the top. That's a traditional thing for it. But if you're not that fancy, where is it? Here it is. Well, if you're not that fancy, you just take a little cocoa powder, sprinkle it over the top. Oh, that's quite a bit, actually. There we go. Some cocoa powder, sprinkle it on the top. And it still looks pretty nice. There, that's how you make a French silk pie. Yeah, it doesn't take too long to make it. It just has to chill for a really long time. Now, let's cut this up. See how it tastes. Should cut very smoothly. Go, look at that. Nice looking slice of pie if ever I saw one. That is exactly what I've been craving. Hope yours is just as good. Anyway, that's all I got for you today. If you got some recipe ideas, anything you want to see me make, give another suggestion. If you liked what you saw, give a like. I'll be back soon with something else. Till then, see ya.